Excited to do this monthly prediction video because there are so many crazy changes that are happening in October that are really going to impact us for the next year and a half with the eclipses and with the nodal axis changing signs. That it's just tremendous, the changes. So October 1st, we begin the month with Mercury switching out of Leo, where it's been for a really long time, where we had the retrograde, and now it's going into Virgo. And then on October 2nd, this transit I'm really excited for because finally Venus leaves the Gandanta point of Cancer, where it retrograded in. It's been there since like August. And now it's gonna go into Leo finally. So we're not gonna feel all of this intensity when it comes to love anymore. It's gonna be a lot more theatrical, a lot more lively type of feeling for all of us as a collective. So this is gonna be a really cool and easy transit. Venus doesn't particularly enjoys being in the sign of Leo. Now, and on October 3rd, Mars enters Libra, so it leaves Virgo and it enters Libra. And then on the 17th, the Sun moves out of Virgo and enters Libra. On the 30th, the North Node Rahu enters Pisces and Ketu enters Virgo. And that's going to be a 1.5-year transit. But before that, we can already feel this energy already, but especially during the eclipses. On October 14th, we have a solar eclipse with the new moon. And then on the 28th, we have a lunar eclipse with the full moon. So these are very important days to keep in mind. I'm going to do a separate video for the eclipses. And let's get started with the actual readings for all the signs. We'll start with Aries. Moon. So October marks the ending of a transformation that you began a year and a half ago, but really you began it around December of 2021. So if you think back at your life from December of 2021, everything will have changed completely. A lot of you went through breakups, certain new relationships are, completely moved to completely switch careers. There was major changes that happened for you guys. And now what's happening is that by the end of the month, you're going to feel this feeling of wanting to seclude yourself a little bit more, wanting to work on becoming healthier mentally for yourself. And so this is going to require a lot of introspection. So towards the end of the month, things are going to begin to slow down for you. And you're going to notice a lot more spiritual, stronger pull towards spirituality than you have for the last year and a half. And then on the, on the 3rd, Mars will enter your 7th house. It will be placed with Ketu, the South Node, but and then it'll remain there throughout the entirety of the month. So the eclipses are going to happen in your 7th and 1st house, the very last eclipse of this very karmic cycle that you've been undergoing for the past year and a half. And then with Mars there in your 7th house, you're going to have this energy towards your partnerships. The main focus is going to be towards your partnerships, your relationships, the outside world. As you're gearing the end of this 1.5-year transit, 1.5-year karmic transit, and Mars enters your 7th house, you're going to feel a lot more energy towards mending relationships that you've had in the past. Either if you own your own business with like business partners, with coworkers, or even with in your marriage or in your partnerships and your relationships in general with the outside world. If you work in an area, and if you're a public figure also, or if you work with a lot of people, this is going to be a time when you get to like shift your image, and you get to create a new image for yourself when it relates to others. If you were having discord with people in the outside world, now is the time when you're going to be able to handle those relationships better and really mend them. This is the month for that. It's not a bad month for you. In fact, it's a month of a lot of clearing and a lot of becoming clear on your relationships and with the outside world, and also how you want to move forward in your life, and what relationships you want to take with you and what relationships you want to leave behind. Because you have that opportunity. It's almost like after the chaos of the last year and a half, now you're finally putting the pieces together and everything is finally making sense. Over the month, Mercury and Sun will be in your 6th house. So it's going to give you the upper hand when it comes to like enemies, when it comes to your work environment, when it comes to your routine and your health. You're going to have a lot more energy to have a better routine for yourself and to just have better day-to-day day-to-day routines, or like even your health. This could be a good time when you decide that you want to just like increase your job performance, or if you had any competition, this is the time when you will overcome those competitions. Second half of the month, the sun goes into your 7th house. So first half of the month, while Mars is there in your 7th house, you're sort of like making amends, taking action towards your partnerships. And then second half, when sun enters your 7th house, you're going to be more focused on like others are going to want your energy more, like others are going to be pulling you towards them, maybe in your workplace, maybe in your work environment, maybe in your relationships. Maybe your spouse needs more of your energy than usual. You can even create some kind of like doubts for yourself, because ultimately sun gets debilitated in Libra, but there could be a little bit of doubts, but you can overcome those doubts through making amends and being really clear with your communication with others, and also in being very I would say almost like balanced, because you're going to feel a little bit of imbalance, but then you'll have the opportunity to clear that and bring balance into your relationships. So this is a very relationship focused month for you overall, because even Venus will after on the second, Venus enters your 5th house after being in your 4th house for quite a long time. You have been settling your emotions. You have been manifesting, I don't know, new home, happiness, a new beginning within your sense of happiness. And now, after the second, Venus enters your 5th house, you're going to want to have more fun. You're going to want to work on manifesting your dreams. You're going to want to hang out with friends, or be out with friends, or even like go out into like having more romantic encounters with your spouse, being more romantic, or even creating something. If you wanted to create something, if that was a child, or like a business, or a new idea, or like a new creative project, whatever it might be, you're creating something this month. And then Rahu and Ketu in your 12th and 6th house, and I will talk about that in the Rahu and Ketu video. This month is really good for is those people who are business owners and wanted to expand their business. So if you're trying to like expand your business, like grow it in some way, like open new offices, or just grow your business in general, this is the month when you can receive the loans. If you want to take out loans for that, you can receive new business partnerships, more increase in business as well. So maybe you're focusing on increasing your business, taking out new loans, but just be careful not to do it towards the end of the month. But before that, you should be fine. Even if you do it towards the end of the month, that's fine too. Just be very careful on how much you take out. Like try not to go beyond your means. Also, this could be a month if you wanted to switch jobs, like get a new position. If you were looking for a job, you might find it. You could very well find it this month, especially for those of you who work in like creative fields, or just any field in general, or in competition. Like if you have some kind of competition with your business, this is the month when you overcome your competition, when you can become a lot healthier, set better routines for yourself. So it's a good month overall. And Taurus moons. Okay, so this is like a really good month for you guys. So you're right, the ruler of your ascendant, which is Venus, it's finally leaving your 3rd house, where it was in a very spiritual knot, very spiritual point where it went retrograde. You could have been having a little bit of difficulty with your career, or with your expenses could have been high, also in relationships, but now all of that is completely changing, because Venus is entering your 4th house, your house of home, your house of comforts, and is looking right opposite at Saturn retrograde in your 10th house. So any kind of accomplishments that were delayed before are now going to come into fruition, are going to be fulfilled now with this transit of Venus in your 4th house, especially back in July, whatever was happening back then. Now you're receiving the results from that month back again. So if your expenses were really high for you, given that you had so many planets in your 12th house, this month, all of that is going to level itself out. So all of that is going to get better, and you're going to, this is actually an overall really good month for you. It's even a really good month for love and creation. So you might be creating new projects, or getting new ideas ideas when it comes to your business, if you own your own business, or if you were studying something, or even like in romantic partnerships, maybe you're getting more suitors, or people are wanting to take you out more, people are wanting to court you and wine and dine you. So you can be very popular at this time because a lot of your energy is in your 5th house for the first half of the month. Then the second half of the month, Mars goes into your 6th house, and where rules your ascendant. So this is a time when you're going to have a lot of energy towards not only your routine work, but also improving your sense of self, your sense of happiness. Then after you will also have mid-month onward, you will have this you'll have the sun also in your 6th house. So it's going to give you a lot of visibility when it comes to your work. If you were trying to like change jobs, or if you weren't having so much luck up until now for the last year and a half, given that you've had K2, the South Node there in your 6th house, when it comes to your health, this is the time when you're going to regain your health and when you're going to really overcome your opponents. Because for the past year and a half, having K2 in the 6th house, maybe there was a lot of like difficulty when it came to like your maybe a position. You were getting a lot of positions. Maybe you were getting a lot of like people who were competitors, opposition. But now it's like that cycle is ending, and you feel a new leaf turning, and you feel something's changing for you, and now you're closing a chapter. If you had some kind of issue with your health, this is a time when you're completely overcoming that, when you're completely overcoming anything, any opponents, any issues in your life, any health, physical matters. You're completely overcoming that, and you're going to feel a lot healthier after this month. This is the month when that changes, especially because the nodal axis during the eclipse, which I'll make a separate video for that, is going to be in your 11th and in your 5th house. So a lot of wish fulfillments are going to come true for you this month, and onward for a year and a half, and a lot of new creative projects, creative ideas that you've had in the past. Now you're going to pick those back up and really launch them full force, kind of thing. This is the month when you switch a leaf. Everything switches. You might even be wanting to like remodel something around your home, or change something around your career. Remodel, changes, all of that can be possible for you right now. Especially maybe some of you get like proposals, get engaged, get into new relationships. Maybe some of you decide that you want to altogether move homes, or feel more comfortable within your sense of self, within your happiness, or change furnitures, change your look, change your aesthetics. That's very possible this month. There's an overall really good energy for the Taurus rising and moons. Now we're up to the next sign, which is Cancer. Gemini moons. Okay, so this is the month when you're going to have a lot of planets mid-month onward in your 5th house of relationships, creation, and all those beautiful magical things, also learning. And Venus is leaving the Gandanta point from your 2nd house, house of finances, house of family, house of stability, where it was causing a little bit of chaos, and where it was causing a little bit of discord when it came to your relationships with your family, or even your relationships with your stability, with your finances, with your sense of comfort and security. And it's moving into your 3rd house of willpower, of business abilities. This could be a time when you decide that you want to completely shift, or you might receive some kind of good news as it pertains to like a higher wish, or a higher education, or getting into an institution, or you might just receive some kind of good luck that comes your way this month. Gemini rising and Gemini moons. Okay, so the month of September, it's actually a pretty good month for you. After some struggle that you've had in September, mental unrest and where you didn't feel at peace at home, and you could have maybe gone through some kind of struggles emotionally, this is the month when you're going to feel a lot more secure. You're going to have a much stronger willpower to get things done and to just get ahead in life, especially now that Venus is in your 3rd house of strength, willpower, courage. You're going to have the courage to launch things in your life, whether that's a business, school. For those of you who are applying in school, this is a great time. For those of you who have a career, this is also a great time when you're just going to have the energy, and you're just going to be seen as much more lovely, much more lively. You're going to have a lot more energy to like get things done. Then your ascendant ruler, Mercury, is going to go, it's going to be it's in Virgo all month long in your fourth house, along with Sun and Mars. So there's a lot of energy towards your sense of happiness, towards your home life, and opposite in your career life. So this month is going to be all about strength, willpower, career, work, and home for you. So this could be a month when you get a lot of ideas in terms of your business, if you have your own business, or this could be the month when you get a lot of insights into what makes you happy, what it is that you want, how do you want to preserve and conserve your energy, how you want to feel more beautiful. And this could be a month of like some kind of upgrade, whether that's an upgrade in career, an upgrade in homes, moving homes, or an upgrade in your own sense of happiness. But this is like the month that you're just going to feel like, okay, things are finally moving forward for me, and I'm no longer feeling stuck, or I'm no longer feeling down and in the dumps, because you have been feeling a little bit that way. Now this month you move forward. Then you're going to have Sun enter mid-month, your fifth house of romance. So this could be also a good month for like having fun with friends, going out, meeting people, meeting like a love potential, love interest. This could be a time when, again, your creativity, your creative juices are like flowing, and you're feeling a lot more creative, and you're feeling a lot happier about yourself. Then also after the third, Mars enters your fifth house. So it's like energy towards your love life, your creative endeavors, maybe even learning something, maybe even children for some of you. If you have children, or if you're trying to conceive, this could be a good month for that. So it's like you're having a lot more energy in those areas. And then I'm going to talk about the eclipses in a different video, but the eclipses are shifting into your fourth and 10th. So you're one of the signs that is going to see a lot of changes when it comes to your career life and when it comes to your home life. So this month is sort of like preparing you for the next year and a half after the eclipses. So you're feeling the changes, you're feeling like something's coming. After months of feeling a little bit down on yourself, you're feeling like something's coming, some kind of manifestation can be coming towards you at this time. And you're feeling like something's shifting in your life, and you're like in the transitional phase of preparing for it. So this is not a negative month. This is actually a really good month. Venus in your third house is going to give you a lot of strength, a lot of creativity. The planets in your fourth house are going to make you feel a lot more stable emotionally. Just like try not to have arguments with your mom, or try not to have too many ego clashes when it comes to your home environment or in your career life, because it's like you're wanting to spend more time in the comforts of your home. But like something in your career keeps pulling you outward, or you can get a little bit annoyed at work. But regardless, it's like you're transforming how others view you, and you're also transforming like your appearance and like your sense of like how you want to be seen at work and in your career life. Now we're off to the next sign, which is Cancer. And Cancer moons. Okay, so Venus has left your first house where it's been for quite some time, and now has entered your second house of family, of finances, stability, etc. This is the month when major focuses for you is going to be on your sense of willpower, on your finances, on your family life. So possibly becoming more stable financially, becoming more stable within the construct of your family. So if at first you feel like, oh, I'm not stable enough, I'm not financially stable, I'm not emotionally stable, or I don't have the strength to make it happen, this is a month when you're going to feel like at first you can feel that way, and then as time progresses, is like you start to see things happening for you, and you start to see that it's possible for you to become more stable, more worthy. This is a good month to work on your self-worth, because the second house, after all, does deal with your self-worth. Saturn is looking opposite of your second house and the eighth house, so it could be a month also where you're feeling a little bit conflicted in terms of your resources to some extent. Like maybe some of you have undergone some kind of transformation, and now you're feeling like, are my resources, do I have enough resources? Am I stable? Am I, capable of? So, and then at the same time, you're going to feel at some point or another, you're going to feel like, okay, I can do this and this to make it happen. So this is a good month to become more stable financially, mentally, secure within yourself, secure within your family, secure within your finances. With Venus there, is really highlighting and illuminating everything as it deals with this. Now, just Your third house is also being really illuminated first half of the month with Mercury, Sun, and Mars there in your third house. So it's like your speech, your communication, the way that you do business, the way that you're portraying yourself and your belief systems is really being emphasized. So it's a good time to like release whatever it is that you want to discuss, or whatever it is that you want to create. This is a house of willpower, so your willpower and your courage is really strong first half of the month. So use it to your advantage. Maybe you're getting a lot of like business ideas, or maybe you're getting a lot of if you're in a higher education, maybe this is a good time when you are going in for like competitive exams, or when you're taking exams and you're being seen within the context of your higher education. Now, after the second half of the month, especially after Mars enters your fourth house of home, this could be a time when the transformations that you have undergone for the past year and a half with Rahu in your 10th house, now you're feeling like this is what I need to do to complete that. This is what I need to do to finally change my appearance, or to finally change my status in life. And so it's going to be like a 180, because the nodal axis is about to shift. So it's like everything's revealing itself to you. You can feel a little bit drained emotionally with all the energy in your fourth house, especially because the South Node K2 is there. So it's like an emotional drainage, but it's like also a release and learning new ways to feel more comfortable within the safety of your home, within your emotions, and within your career life. So you're learning to balance the two. Maybe you're not wanting to be at home as much, but yet your home life is like pulling you in. Maybe you're not wanting to address your happiness. You're wanting to like, sort of like suppress whatever emotions you're feeling and suppress them, and sort of go become more career oriented, but yet something keeps pulling you backwards into your home life. So it's like address it so you can close this chapter and go on to the next chapter that's coming up for you, which will be the nodal axis for the next year and a half in your 9th and 3rd house. So this 4th house disturbance that can happen in the second half of the month, with Sun being in your 4th house, trying not to get into ego clashes with your mom, or like with people you feel emotionally strong about, because it's like your emotions are really heightened and you're feeling like the sense of loss. At the same time, you're seeing new opportunities blossom. Like when there's one chapter closing, other ones are open, kind of thing. Other ones are opening, kind of thing. Especially in your career and in your image, and you're just like transforming all of that. So it's a good time to let go of any issues that you've been having with your mother. Like let that go, put it to rest, and just like face life with any obstacles that come your way, because you have the ability to overcome them and to solve them at this time. And then let's see. This is also a month when some of you, due to all the transits that are happening in between your 4th and 3rd house, you might finally get the courage to make the moves necessary that you've been wanting to do. If you were wanting to move homes, this is the time when you finally do it, when you finally are able to move homes. Some of you might be dealing with some kind of like real estate matters, whether that's like buying, selling property, or whether that's like, renovations around the home, or some kind of like things breaking down and then having to renovate them. Regardless, property is going to be very important this month, and then you digging into yourself or introspecting to get the strength to make the moves necessary. This can also be due to like career, maybe because of work. Now you're having to relocate homes, or just like a relocation in general for whatever reason that can happen, whether you planned it or it just suddenly happens, or in the eclipse time, or even now. It could very well happen this month for you. So there could be some kind of moves this month for the Cancer rising and moon. Also, or even like change of vehicles can also be possible for you. Like you can change vehicles, you can move homes, you can renovate, be some renovations, all of those things. It could be stressful at first, or feeling like a sense of loss, but then ultimately it's exactly what you needed, because this move will help your career in some way. Now, another thing that's important to keep in mind is that you're, okay, wait. You have Saturn in your 8th house of transformations, and like it's ruling your 7th house. A lot of the Cancer risings and moons have been struggling a little bit with your career life. And so you've been feeling stressed, bogged down, or maybe feeling like, you need to transform your career life, or you need to transform your jobs in some way or another. This could be the month when you feel even more intensely about this. So some of you might feel like I've had it, I'm fed up with this, and now it's time for me to move on. And then you look for a new position and you're able to get it. So this is a good month to find a new job. Now, I'm not saying to quit your job. Don't do that because of this video. No, don't. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you were looking for a job, this is a good month to find one. You might find one this month. Or if you were looking to advance in your position, this might be the month, because you're working really hard and you're really having no time. Like there's and maybe you're not getting the recognition that you deserve, but you're definitely working very hard, and eventually you will get that recognition. Just give it some time. And if you were looking for a job, if you're looking for a different career, a different position, this could be the month you get it. That's all I'm saying. Up to the next sign, which is Leo. Leo rising and Leo moon. This is a really good month for you guys. Well, at least the first half of the month is excellent, because you're gonna have Venus on your ascendant, Venus on your first house of self. So you're gonna feel like wanting to change something about yourself. Everywhere that you go, people are gonna be magnetized by you, attracted to you, want to talk to you, or just like you're going to get attention everywhere that you go. When Venus is over your ascendant, this is the time of the year when we tend to like go through a glow up. And you had this Venus in your first house back in July for like a few weeks before it went retrograde into your 12th house. So you're coming out of having Venus in the 12th house for some time where your expenses were really high, where you were kind of like struggling with like finding yourself and really digging deep and tweaking a lot of things around your inner belief systems. And now everything has come full circle, and you kind of like made all the clicks that you needed to make. And now you're coming out, and now you're working on your physical appearance, on your beauty, on your aesthetics, and others are noticing. So this is a good month when you might meet someone. You can go on dates, meet someone, attract partners into your life. Seventh house, you have Saturn retrograde, especially for those of you who have Saturn retrograde in your chart. This could be a time when you meet someone, when Venus is over your ascendant, or when you just feel like beautifying yourself, going through a glow up, changing something about you, changing something about your sense of self, your finances. You're going to be working really hard this month as well. You have a ton of planets in your second house, family, a lot of time spending with your family, a lot of time working, a lot of time becoming more financially stable. This is a time when you reevaluate. This is a time of the month when you start to reevaluate what is of value to you, what isn't of value to you, what you want to shift about your finances. And it's a good time to get your finances in order and to make like a plan for the rest of the year. Then second half of the month, after October 17th, Sun enters your third house of your strength, willpower. For the last 2 years, really, you've had your willpower, your strength, and your ability to take action towards things has been a little bit dimmed, has been a little bit diminished. Remember, Sun is the ruler of your first house. So whatever transit the Sun is taking, it's very, very important for you, because it's ruling over your entire body, your entire life. So when it comes into the third house with K2, the South Node, it tends to feel a little bit, because Sun gets debilitated in Libra, so it tends to feel a little bit egotistical or a little bit diminished in strength because of this. So you're going to feel like a lot of the action that you take is going to come from a place that's like ego driven if you're not careful. But at the same time, you have other planets that are pacifying this, because Mars is going to be sitting there with Sun. So Mars is going to help you get that drive that you need to take action, even though you're going to feel like, what is the point of it all? What like a lot of your actions may be a little bit driven by ego. Be careful with your speech. Be careful how you communicate. Be careful you're not too aggressive with your family or with your friends or with the people around you. But at the same time, you're coming full circle from like the belief systems that you have been tweaking and adjusting the last 2 years. So this could also be a time when you get a lot of new ideas business-wise. If you own your own business, if you work in media, this is a good time for all of that. So this is also a really good month for you, Leos, financially. You're just going to feel a lot more happiness. You're going to feel like financially, career-wise, you might get some kind of promotion. You might get some kind of recognition that you've been waiting for in your career, in your business, and at work, in your relationships with your finances. Like overall, this is a great month for you. Like this is kind of like the month that you've been waiting for. Some of you might even travel this month. Some of you might even decide to take on new work projects, new business projects, and launch them. So it's a great month for all of those things, financially, family. So even if you feel like, things are hard, just push through, because you have a great opportunity this month to in almost like every area of your life. So it's a great transit for you. Now we're off to the next sign, which is Virgo. Rising Virgo moons. Okay, this month is a good month, especially the first half of the month, and then it gets a little bit more difficult. Second half, the first half of the month, you have the ruler of your first house in your first house exalted, so you're able to express yourself very clearly, and you're having the energy and the willpower to sort of be seen and put yourself out there. You're having a lot of drive, a lot of energy to get things done. With Mars also in your first house, especially with Mercury there. But after and you're gonna have Mercury there in your first house, the ruler of your first house in your first house. This is the one time of the year when you completely recharge and re-energize yourself. When the ruler of your ascendant comes into the ascendant, this is the time of the year where we are able to kind of like redirect our life purpose and redirect our path towards what we're trying to manifest into our life, and to give us the energy needed for the entirety of the year until it comes back around. And you're going to notice, like, as it nears your ascendant again, like when it goes into Cancer, Mercury, and then Leo throughout the year, you start to lose energy, because that's it. It's at its lowest in the battery field. And then once Mercury reaches your ascendant, like it is now, you start to recharge, and then that gears you up for another year. So that's how all the ascendants should look at the ruler of their first house. So while Mercury is there in your first house, you're really self-expressing yourself. You're really getting the attention that you want, that you need. You're becoming a lot more powerful in yourself and in your communication and your business. So businesses are not going to be a problem. You're going to feel like you're gaining energy, you're gaining strength, and you are able to, like, new businesses can come into your life, or like career growth, life experiences, changes in life in general. There can also be a time when expenses are a little bit high, because you do have Venus in your 12th house at this moment for the remainder of the month. You're going to have Venus in your 12th house, but then it goes over your first house, so the beauty, and you're going to be like seen and all of that. So until next month that it goes over your first house, Venus, you're gonna have Venus in your 12th house. So be careful with expenses, but at the same time, it's a really good time to like let go of any like limiting beliefs that you've had, or introspect, work on your self-concept, so that when Venus goes over your first house, you can be ready to like glow up. Maybe you're going to want to spend more time in isolation, seclusion, just working. Like, this is a month of work. This is a month of work. This is a month of re-energizing yourself, of rearranging your purpose. It could be also a month of transforming your relationships, whether that's your relationships with your businesses, or your relationships at your personal relationships, or your marriage. Is a time of also examining that. With Jupiter in your 8th house, you can also receive some kind of like, before Rahu leaves your 8th house, some kind of unexpected income of money that comes into your life without expecting it, sudden gains as well, or maybe inheritance, or maybe like an insurance payout, or some kind of payout that you were not expecting, or even if you were expecting it, just comes suddenly to you. Then mid-month, Sun goes into your 2nd house of finances, family, where it's going to join the South Node. And I'm going to do a separate video for the eclipses, because you're the hot one in the eclipse zone, and because you're going to have K2 in your ascendant for the next 2 years after end of October. But I'm going to do a separate video for that. But anyways, the eclipses are going to happen in your 2nd and 8th house, but they're going to be impacting your 1st and 7th house as well. But and that will happen on the 14th and 28th of October. And by then, like, for now, because 2nd half of the month, the Sun enters your 2nd house. So while Sun is in your 2nd house, you're going to feel a lot more inclined to settle and to just come full circle from the last 2 years in a matter that deals with your finances, with your savings, with your money, and with your value system. So maybe you haven't been feeling as valuable the last 2 years, or maybe you haven't been feeling like you've been able to become stable within your sense of self, or within your family, or within your finances. Now this is the time when you finally reach that, like a closure of that, like an ending to that chapter. And then Mars also enters your second house. So a lot of your energy is going to go towards, your financial stability and getting that in order. Can also be a month when you feel a little bit detached from like your partnerships, or you can feel a little bit lonely, or you're just like isolating a lot so that you can get a lot of work accomplished. And then the eclipses is going to bring some change into your life, so we'll talk about that in a different video. Now we're off to the next sign, which is Libra. Surprisingly, this is not a negative month for you. This is, even though you have the South Node in your first house and you've had it there for the last 2 years, this is the month when everything kind of like comes full circle for you, when everything begins to make sense and fall into pieces, especially for the last 2 years. Maybe some of you could have been struggling with your health, whether that was mental or physical, and now this month everything comes full circle. Mid-month, you're gonna have Sun in your ascendant, and obviously Sun gets debilitated in Libra, so this is a time when you might do a lot of introspection, or feel a little bit of loss in terms of your identity to some extent, but it's okay, because ultimately this month is going to prove like a major shift towards a more to a healthier lifestyle, whether that's physical health, mental health, both, or whether that's like new shifts in partnerships, new shifts in your like day-to-day life, in your routine, in your isolation, and all of that. So maybe you have some kind of like aha moments happening in this month, and you finally receive like good news in terms of your partnerships or in terms of your health in general, and you gather the energy to move forward. You're gonna have Mars over your ascendant as well after the 17th. Mars goes into your ascendant, and this is going to give you some energy to like get the strength and willpower that you need to get things done and to move forward in life. So this is a good transit for Mars, even though Mars doesn't particularly enjoy being in Libra either, because its ruler is Aries. But regardless, Jupiter is in your 7th house and is aspecting your 1st house. So either way, this is a month when things start to shift towards the positive. Then you have Venus in the 11th house, which is going to bring you some kind of wish fulfillments. Maybe think about what was happening back in July for you, because this is like a continuation of that, or like just like moving forward from that. So July, what's going on in July, you're moving forward from that. You can receive some kind of wish fulfillments this month, or you can receive some kind of like wanting to go out with friends, or meeting partners with friends and things like that. Really good month for the Libra rising and moons, because it's a month of receiving growth in business and receiving growth in partnerships and commitment. So if you were trying to like get engaged, this might be the month when it happens, when that wish becomes fulfilled. Or if you wanted to get into a partnership or relationship, this could be a really good month for that. So this month you're the main characters, especially after mid-month. You become the main character, so to speak. And then you're going to have the eclipses happening in your 1st and 7th house, so there's going to be major shifts, but I'm going to do a separate video for that. So also, this is quite a good month for the Libra rising and moons when it pertains to money. Expenses can be a little bit high, but you're making the money to be able to handle that. So it's like you're making money, your expenses are high, but you can really increase your wealth at this time. This is a really good month for wealth increase and for wealth improvement. So good month wealth wise, good month relationship wise, overall good month for business growth, career growth. So there's really this is the month when everything, you're coming full circle with everything. And even if there's something that's difficult in your life this month, you'll have the strength and the willpower to overcome it. So overall, it's a great month. Now we're off to the next sign, which is Scorpio. Scorpio. Moons. Okay, this is a really good month, especially the first half of the month is going to be a really good month for you in terms of your career life, of your image. You have Saturn transiting your 4th house of home, retrograde still, but Venus just entered your 10th house. So you're going to have an opposition there between your home life and your career. So you can see some kind of gains that you were waiting for, or you can see some kind of like new prospects or some kind of recognition in your career life or in your home life. There could be a change of career or a change of status in life in general, whether that's like new career, whether that's changes in your happiness, whether that's with love or with relationships, whatever the case may be, in terms of your career, love, relationships, and home life and stability. There's major changes this month, especially first half of the month. It's a really good month for you. You have a ton of planets in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, manifestations, with Mercury there exalted in your 11th house. This is a month. First half of the month is a month of wish fulfillment and of even relationships, love, creativity. If you have your own business, maybe you're launching a business, maybe you're launching new things in your business, maybe you're getting recognized for something that you started back in July, and now you're picking that back up and getting the recognition that you deserve in that area of life, or you're just deciding that you want to change your image, that you want to change how you're perceived by others. You want to change something about your appearance, something about your looks, your status, whatever it is, you're changing this month, and it's for the better. Then you're gonna have the opposition of the planets from your 5th house is a good time for children, for studying, for love-related matters, and with fulfilling those wishes, maybe even friendships or connections. You're making new connections, or you're increasing your connections in general. That's the first half of the month. Then by the second half of the month, which is like basically after the 17th, onward, you're going to have a lot of planets in your 12th house, and this is the house of isolation, expenses, so expenses might go up. So first half of the month you can see a lot of gains, and then especially gains from women, or like women helping you in some way, whether you're a woman or not, doesn't matter. Women are just going to gravitate towards you, and they're going to help you in some ways. First half of the month, but really that portion is going to be all month, because Venus is going to be there in your 10th house all month long. And even when it goes into your 11th house, it's still a great placement for Venus. You're still going to gain a lot. But regardless of that, then a lot of planets go into your 12th house, where you have the South Node K2, and that's mid-month onward. And then the 12th house is the house of isolation, expenses, loss in some ways, spirituality, just like wanting to isolate yourself. So second half of the month, I would say watch out, like keep an eye out for your expenses, and whether that's you expending in, pleasure, or expending in travel, because you might be traveling this month, or expending your resources in work-related matters, or in career-related matters, or maybe expenses are going up because of a new venture in your work or your image in general. Maybe you're spending a lot of money in clothes, or in like your habits, or in things that are of luxury, because ultimately Libra is a sign of luxury, of it's a Venus ruled sign, and you're gonna have a ton of planets there. So when Sun goes into the 12th house, you can have ego clashes as well, or you can just feel very detached from your identity to some extent. Mars is going to be there in your 12th house, the ruler of your 1st house, and the 12th house is just a time of introspection, isolation, second half of the month. So even after like the 3rd of October, you're going to feel a little bit like, even though I'm getting all this recognition, I also have to like isolate myself and replenish or restore my energy. Like, just be cautious as to what and who you give your time and energy to, and then you should be fine. You might feel more tired, or there might be some disturbances with your sleep cycle or with your sleep schedule, where you feel like maybe you're sleeping too much, or you're not sleeping enough, or you're just tired all the time. But I mean, it's not a negative month. Just watch your expenses. If you feel isolated, if you feel a little bit lonely, just introspect, because it's also a really excellent time to do inner work, and to work on your self-concept, and to work on your self-love, and to work on the limiting beliefs that are keeping you from achieving your dreams and goals. So it's not a negative time for you. Just isolate whenever your body, or whenever you feel like isolating. And then even like if you feel like there's some opposition in your work environment, because with Mars in the 12th house along with Sun, and then later on in the month also, well, not this month but next month, Mercury In your 12th house, you might get some opposition in terms of your work environment. Just do your thing, do you, because you're going to end up winning them over anyways. You're going to end up winning all your opponents over. But at the same time, you just might be a little bit drained by them. Second half of the month, first half of the month, it's excellent. Use the first half because you can achieve a lot first half of the month. So get to it. On to the next sign, which is Sagittarius. Rising Sagittarius moons. This is a really excellent month for you guys. You have Jupiter in your 5th house, retrograde, and then you have a bunch of planets in your 10th house of career, and Venus just entered your 9th house of luck and of luck and wishes and also belief systems. So this is a really good month for you in terms of your career exposure. You're going to be seen a lot. You're going to be on the limelight. Mercury is exalted in your 10th house. Mercury rules your 10th house and your 7th house of relationships. So this is a time of major visibility in terms of your career life and in terms of your relationships. If you were having trouble within your partnerships, your relationships, this is a month when that gets better, when you improve, as long as you watch your speech and watch your ego. Then this is also a time when sun is really illuminating your appearance or your character. So this might be a month when you decide that you want to change something about your image, like your appearance and how you're perceived by the outside world. You're being really influential right now when it comes to business. And a good example of this would be Taylor Swift. She's all over TikTok right now, and she's all over the media, and she's changing her appearance, she's changing her status because she has a new relationship. So Sagittarius and Geminis, after a few months of discord and after a few months of hardship in relationships and a few months of a little bit of sadness when it came to that, now you're seeing things clearly. Now things are getting better. Now you're happier. Now you're less, there's less discord, and it's a renewal in your partnerships and your relationships and your belief systems around your siblings and around your career in general. So especially your career, people are really loving you in your career, and people are really taking notice of you. So you're very influential this month. Watch your communication. You're very creative this month as well. You're wanting to spend more time with friends. You're wanting to spend more time with your loved ones, or with in a romantic relationship. You might get into one, or maybe you got into one. This can also be a time when your second half of the month, that's when things shift a little bit. Things are coming full circle as it pertains to your friendships and your network circle, or your hopes and wishes. Maybe old hopes and wishes, you're kind of done with those, or you're letting go of old friendships, and now you're making new connections, and you're meeting new people, and you're making connections with new people, and you're kind of releasing old friendships and no longer wanting to associate with them. So this is an overall excellent month for you guys. I'm excited for you. And now we're off to the next sign, which is Capricorn. Crazy. This is a good month for you guys overall, especially first half of the month, where things are really going to come full circle for you. The ruler of your first house is in your second house of savings as well as value systems, and then now Venus is in the opposite house of investments, transformation, as well as sudden gain. So this could be a month when you receive some kind of sudden gain, or when you're really feeling much more inclined towards going towards things that bring you transformation, or going towards things that bring you gains in money. You might receive some kind of sudden gain, or you might receive some kind of investment, or you might be more prone to investing this month. So, and then in your 9th house, you have a ton of planets the first half of the month, and the 9th house is the house of luck, wish fulfillment, not hopes, wishes, but luck and wish fulfillments, as well as your gains in life. So this is a month when you can receive some kind of gains in and Mercury is exalted there right now in your 9th house. It just entered the 9th house. So there's a really good placement for Mercury. You're going to feel very logical, and you're going to feel like you really have the ability to get things done in your daily routine and in your work environment, as well as your higher education. If you were trying to apply for higher education, this might be the month when you get into the university, or when you're getting recognized within your higher education field. or even like work, if you work in like a higher education type of field, you might get recognized this month. This could be a very career-driven month when you're working really, really hard and you're getting the recognition that you deserve as a result. You're saving a lot of money and you're also investing this month, or you're gaining money, or people are just wanting to give you money just for the sake of it. So take advantage of it. This could be a good month for that. Also, with Sun there in your 9th house, maybe your father is going to be of help for you this month, or maybe a male figure will be of help for you this month. Mars is also there until the Mars leaves until 3rd in your 9th house. So you're getting a lot of energy towards changing and shifting your beliefs, but also towards your luck factor. So you're just lucky this month. Second half of the month is more career driven, and it's really going to emphasize the last 2 years with the Rahu and Ketu transit in your 10th and 4th, where you're just everything's gonna come full circle. If you were struggling with your career, this might be the month when you finally come full circle, and when you finally get the recognition that you've been working towards the past 2 years, or the past year and a half since December 2021. Or this might be the month when you finally get some clarity, or when there's some kind of like shift in your career in general, or in your social status, where you might your bosses might change, or your relationship to your bosses might change this month, or there might be some bosses retiring or leaving, etc. There's going to be some changes to your bosses this month, or just a change of career in general. Then your home life, it's going to feel a little bit more detached, like you're feeling like, oh, your career now is finally pulling you towards it, versus prior months you were kind of like more focused in your happiness. Now you're going to be this month much more focused in your career life. Then Sun goes mid-month, Sun enters your 10th house. Sun there in Libra doesn't particularly enjoy it, but it is your 10th house after all, so you're going to feel a lot more inclined towards changing your status in some way, or being more visible in your work. Just be careful with ego clashes with your superiors. But this is a great month to like get the recognition that you deserve, or this is a great month to, if you were wanting to get into a new job position, to get that job position, or to just like climb up the ladder at your current position. This is a really good, luck is on your side. Then you're going to be very career driven, very work driven month. But the only thing that I would say be careful with is like your inner happiness, because you're going to be so concerned with the outside world and like shifting so many things about your life. You might even move this month if you were planning to, or if you've been wanting to. This could happen this month. So you're going to be so focused on those things, that you're not really going to get time to like step back and like, relax. So you can feel a little bit like go, and not enough emotional stability. But of course, if you set the intention that you will have, happiness, and you will have emotional stability, then that's very possible. I'm going to make a separate video for the eclipses. And then just be careful with like the foods that you eat. Try not to eat too many sugary foods, because with the eighth house transit of Venus, there could be possibility of like UTIs, of spike of sugar and things like that. So just watch that out. Now, but overall, it's a good month of luck, of abundance, of recognition, good money. It's also a good month for communicating your beliefs, shifting your self-concept. So it's overall an excellent month for you. Now we're off to the next sign, which is Aquarius. Aquarius moons. Okay, so this is a month when you're going to have a lot of energy towards not only your relationships, also looking at your first house of self, changes in your sense of self, in your identity due to your relationships. Maybe some of you get into partnerships with this Venus that just entered your 7th house. Think about what was happening for you back in July, if you were like feeling like you wanted to improve your relationships, or get into a relationship if you're single, or just like improve the relationships that you're currently in if you're in a marriage, or even like it doesn't have to be like romantic, it can even be like your business partnerships. Is a great month for that. Maybe you're investing in expanding your business. This is the month when that might happen. You're gonna have a ton of planets in your 8th house as well, first half of the month, with Mercury being exalted there in your 8th house, and then Sun and Mars also there. Mars leaves on the 3rd, so it's not going to be there for much longer, but Mercury and Sun there in your 8th house are going to bring you some kind of investment, or sudden gains, or just sudden realizations, transformations, sudden like development. This is a good month for research. If you work in an area of research, of like deep introspection, if you work in astrology, psychology, occult sciences, or if you do investment banking, or if you're like a trader or just like to enjoy trading in general, or like money wise. This could be a month when you receive some kind of sudden gains, but just like be careful with sudden losses. If you're waiting for some kind of like settlement from like a male figure or from like the government or something like that, this could be the month that you also receive it. Then you're going to have all a lot of planets go into your ninth house, where the last 2 years you have felt like maybe luck wasn't on your side. Maybe you've been struggling with your luck factor. Now things are going to turn around and everything's going to make sense, where you're going to finally view things differently, and you're going to receive some kind of support and luck, and because the ninth house is a house of luck. It's a house of the father. It's a very important house. It supports like every other house, because it's the house of your karma, your dharma. So with K2 there, where it's been for the last almost 2 years, you have been feeling like a sense of loss when it comes to your beliefs, your drive, your luck. Now all of that is going to come back. You're going to receive support. You might even travel, like decide that you want to do some traveling in order to like, you know, refresh your mind, or you might do some traveling, or you might even relocate homes if you were wanting to do that, or just like relocate to a different country or to a different state in general. Or it could be the case also that you decide that, or you just like receive some kind of good news from your father, or just like support from father figures or from male figures. Sun doesn't particularly enjoy being in Libra, where it's going to go into your ninth house up to the 17th, but at the same time, it's going to really make a 180 and really bring forward like all the suppressed drive that you've been lacking for the last 2 years. Now everything's going to come full circle for you, and you're going to get the strength that you need to really go towards your hopes, dreams, and aspirations. So yeah, a lot of support. The house of luck is getting very illuminated second half of the month. First half of the month, if you were trying to conceive and things like that, first half of the month might not be the best for that. Just like, you know, don't feel bad if you're unable to, or, you know, just wait till the second half and things get better, because ninth house is the house of parenthood, and it's the house of wish fulfillment. And if you were trying for like the last 2 years and you were unable to get that good news, now after second half is when you might finally like are able to conceive. The first half might be a little you might not get that support that you want. But yeah, it's a good month for research, for investments. It's a good month for luck factor. Luck is on your side. I'm going to make a separate video for the eclipses. Now we're off to the last sign, which is Pisces. Pisces moons. Okay, so this is like a turning month for you, because everything changes this month. Everything transforms after this month, not only because you're going to have the eclipses happening on the 14th and 28th that are really going to highly impact you, and then you have the shift of nodal axis going into your first house. So this month is like a preparing you for what's to come for the next almost 2 years. So first half of the month, a lot of concentration in your 6th and 7th house. So in the 6th house, you're going to feel much more inclined towards becoming healthier, having a better regimen, having a better routine, overcoming any kind of opposition that you've had at work up until now. Maybe even when it comes to like letting go of inner mental, you know, limiting beliefs that have stopped you from achieving your goals up until now. And then you're going to be able to take action towards them. First half of the month is going to be all about your partnerships, your work environment. Maybe you get into a new business partnership or a new contract in general, a new contract partnership, like a marriage partnership, or a contract in general. Like maybe you expand your business if you own your own business, or maybe like your work environment just expands or grows or changes to some extent. Then you have Mercury exalted in your 7th house of business and trade. So it's a good time for trading, for business, for, you know, your relationship to others, your relationship to the outside world, communicating with your spouse around business matters, or around whatever communication that you've been delaying. So this is a good time to get that out there and to really express yourself, in general. And then second half of the month, when sun goes into your 8th house, is the time when a lot of deep-rooted things are going to come to the surface for you to transform it. This is now the transformational point where everything that has happened up until now for the last 2 years will come full circle. So your stability, your finances, your home, your family life. If you've been struggling with that, or if you've been struggling in your relationships up until now is a time when you transform all of that and transmute it. So if you work in research or in an area of life that deals with transformations, this is a really good month where you might, all of that shifts in a way. Or if you work in investments and banking, dealing with money, dealing with occult, digging deep for information, just like transformative fields for whatever, in whatever way. This is a really good month for that, because you're going to really shift. Maybe you expand your work, maybe you get some kind of sudden investment that comes to you, or people just want to invest in you, in your business. It's just like a shift in business, a shift in work, and a shift in if you were having trouble with your coworkers up until now you're going to shift that. Then your relationships are shifting as well. If you were having some kind of issues in your relationships, you might, like, money issues might come up at this time. Like, money matters, money issues might be really relevant this month to transform them. Maybe contract, something around a contract. Make sure this is a really good month for you, because especially the first half, because you're really going to be able to reap the rewards of the last few months that you've been working so hard towards, and now you're going to be able to overcome things and receive the recognition from the outside world and from your business partners and in your relationships. The second half of the month, if you were having trouble with your relationships, it's going to be even more evident, especially if it was troubles and struggles around money matters. If you are single, the first half of the month is a great time to meet someone. Second half of the month, you're just going to be focusing a lot on growth and on transmuting and transforming yourself in general, because you're gearing up for major changes that are coming up through the eclipse and into the next 2 years. And this is it for all those zodiac signs. I'm going to make a separate video for the October eclipses because that deserves a whole video on its own. But I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.